So one of the hardest things that you can do as a streamer is getting people to actually find your stream. But the question is, once they find your stream, what are you actually going to do to keep them there and to keep them coming back? So today I'm going to teach you about creating an engaging stream. And I'm going to share with you about 8 tips on how to keep viewers hooked. So the first thing, let's talk about kind of keeping viewers engaged and why this is so important, right? So let's talk about engagement. Okay, let's talk about engagement. So the more that you engage with the people that actually watch your stream, the more likely they are to, 1, get to know you, 2, you get to know them, and 3, they get to keep coming back because they want to connect with you and want to be a part of what it is you're building. And I think that so often we get it mistaken that as a new streamer, or if you've been streaming for some time, you're not seeing success, it's like, bring people in to your world, right? Build it with them, because if you can build it with your community, they feel more involved and feel part of this journey, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to make it on your own. You can go live as much as you want. If you don't have a community, if you don't have people supporting you, you're not going to see growth. So as a streamer, you need to focus on developing your ability to be able to communicate and to be able to build connections with the people that are watching your actual stream, right? So that's kind of the most important thing, because if you're not, you don't need to be entertaining. You can be you, but you have to be able to want to spend time and focus more on the people who are coming to watch you than the actual stream that you're playing or the game that you're playing. Like, it's all about building engagement, okay? Just kind of remember that as we kind of go through this. The next thing you want to be able to do is you got to understand who is it that you want to be able to watch your stream. This is your audience, right? Like, you have to start thinking about, if I had a pool of people that I can select from, and I wanted to go ahead and connect with those individuals, and I wanted those people to be my friends, what are the things that I'm actually looking for in them, right? Like, so for example, you ask yourself, if I play Madden, if I play Call of Duty, if I play any other kind of game, right? Wouldn't you want other people who also enjoy that same game, right? Like, if I'm a Call of Duty player, why would I go ahead and try to connect with somebody who mainly likes to play Fortnite? But if you don't ask yourself, who is the people that I want in my community, right? So for example, for me, the people that I want around my community are people who are positive, not toxic, right? Again, toxicity happens, but most likely somebody who's positive, somebody who's trying to grow, somebody who's not a know-it-all, somebody who's coachable, somebody who wants to be able to be better, not just in streaming, but in life. Someone who's looking to help, right? Like, sometimes the information just can't come from me. People want to have a good time, right? So like, if you're a viewer in my stream, like, you hit those kind of categories, right? Like, you're a positive thinker, you know, you want to laugh, you want to have a good time. Like, you're just somebody who really wants to be around, like, good energy. And for me, community to me means family. So if you're in my circle and you're in my realm, like, you become family to me, right? Over time, I get to know you, you get to know me, we start to build. But that's what my goal is, because when you know what viewer you're trying to attract, guess what happens, right? You attract that viewer. Have you ever wanted a car? Or you start and you're like, hey man, I really want this red car. And then now the next time you go out, all you see is red cars everywhere, right? Because guess what happened? Now your brain is kind of programmed to be able to see all these cars, red cars. They've always been there. The same thing. The viewers that you want in your stream are out there, but you don't think about them. So how can you find them, right? So you have to start asking yourself, what is my audience into? Okay. Where are they from? Okay. What do they like? Okay. Ask yourself those questions. And if you don't know, like, hey, I don't know what take yourself, duplicate yourself, and answer the questions for yourself, right? So you ask yourself, what do I like? What kind of movies do I like? What kind of shows do I like? What kind of food do I like? What kind of places do I like to go to? What social media platform do I like to spend my time on? What kind of games do I like to play? Am I a PC gamer? Am I a console gamer, right? Do I like to game more during the day? Do I like to game more during the night? Ask yourself these questions and you can start to duplicate yourself, right? Because most likely we're more likely to hang out with the people that are kind of similar to us, right? So that's a great place to be able to start building from there, right? So the next thing is you want to make sure that you figure out ways to make the chat a little bit more interactive, right? How do you encourage the people who are here to be able to be a part of your stream, right? So this is the big thing. Always remember this. Talk to them, okay? Ask them about themselves. So for example, when I'm ever streaming and somebody comes into my stream for the first time and they follow or anything, or they say anything, right? My first immediate reaction is that, everything around me stops. Okay. I take a few minutes to acknowledge that person. Hey, Nada, thank you so much for the follow. Let me know what kind of games you play and let me know if you stream. And yeah, let's get connected in the community. Simple question. What game do you play? How simple is that? Right? That's like saying, what do you do for work? And a lot of the times that can create engagement, right? Now, the viewer may not want to respond. Most of the time, it's a simple enough question where say, hey, I play Call of Duty. I play Fortnite. I play this game. Cool. Awesome. I don't play that game. Or, hey, you do play that game. Now you start building a connection. And guess what happens? When you do that frequently, and then everybody else in the community also engages, right? Where you have your mob that comes in like Pack and saying like, hey, what's going on, brother? Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, here's the Discord. Kind of join in. Guess what? Now it's not just me and them. Now they feel included into the community. So you have to start conditioning your community to welcome people in, right? We trust everyone until they lose our trust. Okay. So somebody comes in, doesn't matter what your name is, doesn't matter what you say, doesn't matter. Like if you come in with negative energy, guess what? We kick you out. Come with positive energy, you're one of us, come back, and we want to come together as a community. So you want to start talking to the people who are there, like constantly look for opportunities to have a conversation, constantly look for opportunities to share a story, right? The more you can share about you, and again, you have full control of what you share, the more stories you can share, right? For me in my stream, what I do is that I share stories between me and Shauna. Shauna's my wife. Right. And I share stories, things that may happen that day, things that may happen before. Maybe we're talking about a certain topic. Like all these things create stories, which again, focus on the goal that we want to accomplish, which builds connection. If you connect with other people, they're more likely to stay. They're more likely to come back. So it's all about like, you think it's just about getting the viewers. That's easy. That's the easy part. To a lot, it's difficult, right? When you first getting started, but getting people to find you is easy. Is getting people to come back. That's really hard. Okay. That's what you got to want to focus on. The next thing is like super simple things here. Let me see. Can I go up? Guess not. Oh yeah, I can. Here we go. All right. So the biggest thing you want to focus on is like, come on, audio and video. Okay. Don't sleep on your audio. Okay. Like people will forgive you for the video that you have, but your presentation and the way that you sound is super important. Again, we're talking about communication. Yes, visual representation is important, but how you sound is important, right? I want to be able to hear when you say my name. I want to be able to hear the things that you're saying. So if you don't invest in a good microphone, and I'm not saying you got to go spend $400 or $500, you can get a $10 microphone, a $20 microphone, a $30 microphone, so you can sound better, so that the viewer is able to hear you and connect with you, right? Because the last thing we want is for in our ears to hear terrible audio, to hear background, to hear a fan, to hear tons of people talking in the background, right? Like if you're using any kind of software, you can eliminate all noise behind you, right? If you got a webcam, don't be in the dark, right? Like, because what happens is that when you're in the dark and people and viewers can't see your eyes, they can't see you smile, they can't see your face. All you're doing is blocking yourself out to say, hey, I'm a private person. I don't want you to know who I am. So what you're doing is that when viewers come to your stream and they're like, man, I can't even put out his face. Like, what does he got on? And they can't see you. It makes it harder, right? For me, what I like to do is obviously I have different camera angles, but I make sure that I'm lit up as much as I possibly can. So that way you can see my emotions, you can see my face. I'm here in front of you being vulnerable and being open. So don't discredit like taking the time to just buy a $10 light that just lights your face, a $10 microphone that makes you sound a little bit better. Like those things are super important. And if you don't have those things, people are going to come into your stream and literally just leave. Exactly. Right. T, hello, darkness, my old friend. Right. Like, okay. Now, mind you, I like to game in the dark. Right. When I'm gaming, I'm not streaming. All these lights are off 100%. Okay. So I can be sad when I take the L's, but for the most part, when you're streaming, let people see you, let people hear you, right? And if you got a fear of being on camera, at least have some good audio, okay? At least have some good audio. At least have a hand cam, right? Show your hands. Like, let people know there's an actual human on the other side of this stream that I'm talking to, right? So find ways to humanize your content and get people to actually know you, right? Like you wouldn't go outside to meet with your friends and have a hoodie that covers your whole face, have a hat and wear it backwards and you can't even see where you're going. You're just like, hey, like, buddy, like act like you would act in real life and you'll start building a connection with the people that you're here, right? So Let's talk about like also like having overlays and alerts, right? Those things are not mandatory. Okay. They're not mandatory. And I say this over and over and over again. Although I have an overlay store that sells overlays and templates, it's not mandatory. Here's where people get mistaken what overlays are actually meant for. Okay. Overlays will not get you more viewers. Okay. They won't. Overlays will make you look more professional. Yes, but not because of the overlays, because it shows that you actually care about your stream and your production. Okay. The more serious you take the things that you do, the more your audience is going to see the effort that you're putting in to create a great experience. Okay. So having that, right? Like at least alerts, have at least alerts set up. When somebody follows, the most thing that you can do is have their name pop up on screen, right? Because that's what people want, right? Viewers want to be noticed. And when you have tools and overlays and alerts and stuff like that that come up, when people donate, when people subscribe, when people go ahead and follow, you're giving them an opportunity to have a moment, right? To say, my name popped up there. Look at that, right? And you're able to then acknowledge them. So again, it's not only just about looking professional, but it's also a way to be able to encourage other viewers to engage as well, right? Typically when somebody donates, right, maybe somebody else comes and donates as well. It's like, oh yeah, I want my name up there. Or somebody follows, oh, I want my name up there. Or somebody goes ahead and subscribes, oh, I want to subscribe, right? So it also creates a feeling of wanting to be included, which creates more viewers to want to do the actual same, okay? So think about those things in there. And again, if you don't have overlays, like you can simply go ahead and start with alerts. Those are super important, okay? Now, one of the biggest things here is switching up your content as much as you can. Okay. Now I know I stopped writing on this whiteboard. I'm not used to it, but so content. Okay. Content's going to be super important. Okay. And if you don't switch up your content as often as you can, then you're going to create the sense of mundane, right? Meaning that viewers can expect every single time what you're going to do. And those who are loyal are going to go ahead and spend time with you. But if new people are just like, oh man, like you're literally here and just playing the game over and over again. For me, right, the first 30 minutes, I do something. If you miss the first 30 minutes, it's unfortunate. You're going to just get the same kind of stuff, right? Because after 30 minutes, we go into gaming. But you want to start thinking about ways to be able to like not only just game, right? But maybe do some Q&As, right? Maybe do a just chatting stream. Okay. Why? Because our goal is what? To build a connection with the people who are watching us. Build a connection, right? Like if you have a favorite color, your viewers should know what favorite color that is. If you have a favorite drink, your viewers should know what that favorite drink is. If you have a favorite hobby, your viewers should know what that favorite hobby is. Find moments and opportunities to be able to share stories so that people can get to know you more, right? You feel connected, right? You become a part of somebody's life and a part of somebody's day where it's like, hey, I know that individual. Okay, so figure out opportunities to be able to do that, right? Connect. Don't just always start the game and just start gaming right away. Like come in here and I'm gonna be like, yo, Lawless, what's going on, man? Let me know. Let me know how's your day been, man. What'd you do this weekend? Like, and then you start to build this connection. And I think so many of us disregard and say, oh, I don't have 100 viewers. Why would you want 100 viewers when you're just starting to stream? When you haven't even mastered how to be able to build a community, when you haven't even mastered how to be able to communicate and talk to people. Start small. Take advantage that you only have 5 people. Get really good at getting to know those people because guess what? Then it becomes second nature to you. I no longer got to think about this individual viewer. I know exactly what he does. I know what games he plays. I know a little bit about him, right? And then when you share, viewers like to share and you get connected with them, right? So it's super important. That kind of like ties into like storytelling, right? Now, storytelling is not fiction, right? It can be. But at the end of the day, storytelling is just telling the story of your life or sharing your experiences with the people who you're watching, right? And I think that's what creates the connection that you're going to build. And you do this across not only streaming, you do it across your content. And a lot of the times we just forget because we're online, you forget that the 10 viewers that are watching you are actual real people. Okay, I say this all the time. If you put 10 people in this room with me right here, we fit. We're going to be a little bit tight. Okay. So it's like, then you multiply that. Think about 20, think about 30, think about 40, think about 50 people, 50 views on your video, 50 views on your content on TikTok, 50 views on your video on YouTube. You consider that to be small, but in all reality, it's a lot of people when you put it into perspective. So again, just remember that the people who are watching you are real humans. Don't let social media and the big numbers distract you from that. If you focus on building that connection and you take the equation of like, I need to be at this point by this time, and you start saying like, wow, like I got 10 people that come and show up every single day that I go live. Cool. How do I keep building connection with them? How do I keep building up with them? That way, when we get to 11, I add that 11th. When I get to that 12th, I add that 12. When I get to that 20, I add that 20. Some of us are just not willing to go through the grind of building those relationships. And that's the reason why it's slowing you down from being able to grow and consistently grow over time. When you look at the top 1% streamers, what do you notice? They've been in the game 10 years. 10 years. Right now, do you even see yourself being able to stream for 10 years and create content for 10 years? Right? And the reason why you won't be able to make it is because you fall in love with the numbers as opposed to loving the action that it takes to be able to do this. Do you love going live? Do you love connecting with people? Do you love creating content? Do you love gaming? Right? If those are the things that you enjoy, you'll keep going. And it will naturally attract the people that you want to attract. Okay? So think about that. Now, all this being said, okay, it always comes down to this. Okay? Consistency. If you're not consistent, it doesn't matter. All the things that I mentioned prior, if you're not consistent, doesn't even matter. Don't even waste your time trying to build a connection with people when you're only going to show up 1 or twice a week. Or you're going to, even if you show 1 or twice a week, that's fine. But if you show up whenever you want, how are people going to have an opportunity to be able to connect with you, right? If you're this person that's like, oh, it's Tuesday, I'm going to go live at 1 p.m. Awesome. People coming in, you having a conversation, you go, okay, cool. Next thing is like, it's Friday at 11 a.m. Cool. People coming in, This is not a consistent schedule unless this is your schedule, right? Unless your schedule is like, hey, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. I go live, every Friday 11 a.m. I go live, and your audience knows that, cool, you're good. But if your audience cannot predict when you're going to go live, that's a problem. Okay? That's a problem. And if, let's say, hey, I have a job, I got kids, my schedule will just fluctuate, so I can't really be consistent. Then the answer to this is you should not be streaming. You should be focusing on creating content. If you can't be consistent in your streaming schedule, do not stream to build a community. You need to go ahead and focus on creating content. Okay? Because at the end of the day, if I go live, most of my community knows Monday through Friday at 9 p.m., you turn into Twitch, I'm most likely going to be live. Okay? Guaranteed I'm most likely going to be live unless I'm traveling, unless I'm not away or something of that sort. I'm going to be there. Okay? And if you can't have a consistent schedule, don't be a streamer first. Your goal needs to be to become a content creator first. You need to create content consistently across social media to be able to go ahead and start building a community that's not looking for you every second. When you create content, the content shows up for the people when they are available, not when you're available. Okay? Content shows up. Okay, key thing. Content shows up when the viewer is free, not you. All right? That is the key right there. Okay? That is the key. Content shows up when the viewer is free, not when you're free. Streaming is different, right? You're there and the viewer's there. You both are free at the same time. But if you can't be consistent, don't waste your time with going live because the viewer's not going to come back because they don't know when you're going to be live, right? So now if you want to live stream to be able to make content, 100% okay. Okay? But if you're inconsistent schedule, become a content creator first. Focus on making content on different platforms. Get people to know you, get people to like you, get people to build a community. And then once you find some stability and you're like, hey, I can actually stream 1 time a week for this amount of time every single week, Now, hey, now you introduce a live stream and you'll start with not 0 viewers, but you start with a community that you can start building relationships with, right? So that is going to be the key, and that is going to be the answer if you can't create a consistent schedule, okay? Communicate your schedule. Tell people when you're going live. Tell people when you're not live, right? Hey, it's Friday. Remember, guys, I'm only live Monday through Friday. You know, on the weekends, you can't be able to find me, right? So again, those are the things you kind of want to think about. So the very next thing, and this is kind of the last point, and then is thinking about an opportunity for you to be able to decide what is it that you truly want, okay? Because this is going to make or break you, okay? And this is something that I want you to kind of think about here, okay? There's 2 types of streamers. There's education, and then there's entertainment, all right? Whatever that says there, entertainment, all right? You have to decide which one you're going to be, okay? And the way that you decide this is based on your goals, okay? So check this out. If your goal is to generate revenue and you're like, hey, I want to make money as fast as I possibly can, okay? And that's your goal, this is where you want to be, education side, okay? If you're somebody who's like, hey, I want to be able to go ahead and just build the biggest community that I can, and I'm okay with not making money for a while I learn how to be able to grow this thing, and I want to be able to just entertain people and just make challenge videos and just really just be really entertaining, right? Then, and money is not the goal initially, and you're willing to wait out 1 to 2 years, this is you right here, okay? And you have to make this decision on what it is, the direction that you want to go, because these 2 paths are completely different. Now, I'm not saying that if you decide to go education, you can't also be entertaining. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that a path for an educational gaming content creator, okay, on this realm is different than an entertaining kind of streamer. The things you do, the skills you got to learn, the content you make is completely different. Okay, this one gets you to the money faster. Okay, this one gets you to the money slower. Okay, and this is what I want you to understand. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because just because you want to be an entertainment streamer and the money is going to be slower doesn't mean you shouldn't be an entertainment streamer. I just want you to be realistic to understand that most streamers want to be this kind of streamer right here. Okay. But they want to be this kind of streamer and make money fast. And that's not the path I'm just showing you right now, right? But most streamers don't want to teach. You don't want to do educational gaming content, right? You don't want to be able to teach people about the game that you're playing. You don't want to be able to teach people how to be better, how to be able to unlock certain stuff. It doesn't matter what kind of game it is, right? You don't have to be the highest level. And this is something that a lot of people get mistaken is that, oh, I'm going to use Call of Duty, for example, right? So Call of Duty. Right? So there's different levels of ranks in Call of Duty. And most people say, I got to be top 250 to be able to teach other people how to be better at the game. I have to be top 250. I have to be the best of the best of the best of the best. And that's where you're wrong, right? And this is where so much opportunity is left on the table because you believe you have to be the best at the actual game. Okay? Let me tell you this. So the highest is top 250 and the lowest is bronze. Okay? Okay, and then there's different ranks in between. Okay, and this is the same across multiple games. All right, across multiple games, there's different rankings, different stuff. There's different levels. There's different missions. Like everybody, like it doesn't matter what game you play. Most games have a tiering system, a progression, a way to get better. You unlock things like all these things here. Right? Here's what happens. What is the chance that somebody who's a bronze can make it a top 250? Right? It's like a very small pool of people that will be able to make it to that level. Okay, small pool. So what does that mean? If I'm bronze, if I'm silver, if I'm gold, top 250 is a little bit less relatable. Okay, it's a little bit less relatable. It's not achievable. It's not the same, right? If I go and tell you right now, say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to be able to make $1,000 every single month. That's believable. You could probably do that, right? But if I say, hey, I'm going to show you how to be able to make $1 million a month, you're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Like, how am I going to do that? Right? There's tons of gap there. So if I'm this person, I'm like, you know what, like the highest I can ever get is plat. Let's say, for example, right? So I'm a plat player. Guess what happens? As a plat player, I learn from these people, and then I teach everyone under me. Okay? Why? Because there's people that get stuck in bronze, there's people that get stuck in silver, there's people that get stuck in gold, there's people that are still stuck in plat. And you can turn around and teach people what are some of the things that you can do to be able to get to a higher level. What are some of the skill sets you do? What are some of the practice things that you do? What are some of the things that you look for? How do you go ahead and think differently? How do you study the game? How do you do these things? Like, there's so much opportunity here that you're able to go ahead and be able to teach different people across different games. So again, fastest path to money as a streamer and a content creator when you're in the gaming space is to become an educational gaming content creator. You can still build an audience on the education side, and you can generate money at the same time. And you also build a community a lot faster because you're helping people do something that they want to be able to do. Hence why I'm teaching streaming, right? I'm not the greatest. I'm not the top 1% streamer, right? That's who I learn from. That's who I study. Then I talk to the person that's like, hey, getting started, wanting to grow, maybe it's already getting ready to go full time. Like, I have a lot of other skill sets that allow me to be able to teach A to Z. If you want to be entertainment, go this route. Just don't expect the money right away. You can still be successful. You can be a Kai Cenat. You can do things like that, right? And that's where your opportunity is at. But the amount of gaming content creators and the amount of streamers that I see there in the education space that are actually getting to the money much faster because they're teaching other people, and there's more opportunity for what you can do there, is incredible. So at the same time, right, we've talked about understanding the biggest thing, which is understanding who your viewer is, understanding what you're going to do inside of your stream every single time you go live, making sure you have good audio, making sure you have good video, right? And making sure you're switching up your content as much as possible, and you get really good at communicating your story and who you are, and focus on building a community outside of your stream. Build a Discord community so you can start connecting with individuals and be consistent. If you can't be consistent, become a content creator. Now, if you're at a stage in your streaming journey where you're like, hey, cool, I got this down, I got my setup down, but I want to have a plan of how do I do this consistently? How do I, if I have a limited amount of time, how do I go ahead and do this? Well, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and watch this video right here where I walk you step by step on how to go ahead and grow a stream if you only have 10 hours a week, and what I would do to go full time in 1 year. Click that video right there.